Shalom, shalom, shalom. First off, I want to give all honors and glories to our Father, Abanawa, Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Racha Chadash, and the Wada Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai for another day, for another day that we could, exalt your name, which is Yahweh, which means He exists, and a true brother, and how to be a man, and Salakia, double honors to our elders at Great Millstone, a sincere, shalom to our elders like elect men, and all the brother out there pushing these words, the words of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua in sincerity and in truth, shalom. Like I said, I just wanted to go in real quick on how to be a brother, how to be a brother and how to be actually a man, you know what I'm saying? Salakia. This is the book of Matthew. Going about and talking to our brethren when something bothers us, This is the book of Matthew 18 and 15. It says, Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go has gained thy brother. Right? So, like if you have an issue going on, with a brother, or somebody, one of the Akyam, one of the Akya has you feel like has trespassed against you, and you feel like that you need to bring it to the attention of somebody. Well, you actually need to bring it to that brother that you feel trespassed, that you feel that you got pretty much, if you go around about the wrong way and use like, if you really have that issue with a brother, you need to go and tell him, man to man, brother to brother, and we'll go ahead and read it again. It says, Matthew 18 and 15, Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. And if he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother. You know what I'm saying? So, vice versa, the other Akim, hearing what he supposedly, offended you, and he has to be a man about it and be like, yeah, you know what, I did mess up. You know what I'm saying? I did mess up, and I shouldn't have to holler. I shouldn't get offended over this. What you're telling me, but you know what, brother, I'm gonna go ahead and work on it. You know what I'm saying? That's what the scriptures say to go about when you need to bring something up to a brother. Don't physically spiritually jump them. You know what I'm saying? Don't spiritually physically jump them. Because that's what could happen too. You could spiritually jump a brother. By not doing what the scriptures say, and we'll continue on reading. It says, Matthew 18 and 16. But if he will not with 3, 1 or 2 more, then in their mouth or 2 or 3 witnesses, every word may be established. Right? So if you went up to the brother and you feel like, hey man, this Akim, he's being hard headed, man. He ain't trying to listen to what I'm telling him. Then that's when you go. That's when you go and you get, It says, we'll read it again, Matthew 18 and 16. But if he will not hear thee, then take it with thee 1 or 2 more. Then in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, every word may be established. Right? So, like if he didn't want to listen, then yeah, take it to the rest of the brethren and be like, hey, look, man, I told this brother, hey, not to do this, or hey, he's going off on this, and he's just being hard-headed. He just doesn't want to listen to me. He's going to continue doing what he wants to do. Then, hey, you go and you get the rest of the brethren, and then you give him a physical jump, a spiritual jumping. You know what I'm saying? You put him on check, like, hey, what's up? What's going on, man? hey, you know, hey, the scriptures say this, and hey, the brother already went about and try to, you know, talk one-on-one with you, and you ain't hearing them out, right? So what's going on? That way you got 2 or 3 witnesses. That's what the scripture, the law says to do, right? Then you actually have, you know, you have evidence of, hey, this brother said this. And yeah, this dude just straight up being hard-headed, you know? Okay, and we'll continue reading Matthew 18 and 17. And if he should neglect to hear them, you know, after you give him that spiritual jumping, you know, tell it unto the church. But if he neglects to hear the church, let him be unto thee as a heathen and be and a publican, right? So hey, after you give him that spiritual jumping, you know, after you tell him, and you be like, hey man, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? After all the brothers have gone, and if he still don't want to, if he still wants to continue and establish his own understanding and go about his way, then you let the whole church, you know, you mark them that cause division, right? You tell the whole church, you know what I'm saying? You know, you have to you go about it that way, you know. You go about, you know, being a man about it. You know what I'm saying? You tell the brother, be like, hey brother, hey, you know, hey, I I noticed this going on, you know, and I think you maybe, you know, that am I not understanding it right, or you know, let's talk about it. And if you guys come to an agreement, and you guys are like, hey, yeah, you know what, I messed up, you messed up, we both messed up, or hey, I understand, you know what I'm saying? Hey, you gained the brother, you know, hey, this brother's going about what the scriptures say. But you know, after that, if he doesn't, if you feel that he is actually being hard-headed, and he wants, you bring in the other brotherhood, and you have more than one witness. Now you got 2 or 3 witnesses on this guy, and what's going on? And after that, you let the whole church know if he still wants to be, you know, and you cast him away like you know, like a heathen. Like he ain't part of this. You know what I'm saying? He can't step into this. What's going on? You know, you know. Hey, we heard this and we heard that. Hey, you need to get in line, or hey, you know, you out of here. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you can't continue. You can't continue with us. You know what I'm saying? We got to cast you out. You know, so get in line, or those are the consequences. You know what I'm saying? And you know, and hopefully it doesn't get to that point. You know what I'm saying? That you have to do that. You know, but you know, the scriptures say that's how we have to go about. You know, when we bring something to a brother's attention. You know what I'm saying? You know, we just don't go about, you know, giving him that hey, we're all gonna gain up on him, and we're just gonna check him right now. You know what I'm saying? That's not the way what the scriptures say to go about and do. You know? So Salaki, I'm just, you know, tend to these let me see again. It says Matthew 18 and 15. Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. And if he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother. Right? Hey, that brother ain't hard-headed, bro. Hey, you know, he's taking it like a man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, he's manning up. You know? Matthew 18 and 16. But if he will not hear thee, then take with thee 1 or 2 more. Then in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, every word may be established. All right. Then you go ahead and take the other brothers, and you know what I'm saying, and I call it that spiritual jumping. You know what I'm saying? You know, you got to check that guy. You know, if you feel that conversation between you and between him and thee, then go about how you know, you didn't get nowhere. Then bring in 2 or 3 more witnesses on this guy. You know. Matthew 18 and 17. And if he shall neglect to hear them, tell it unto the Salakio. Matthew 18 and 17. And if he shall neglect to hear them, tell it unto the church. But if he neglects to hear the church, let him be unto thee as an heathen man and a publican. All right. So you know, that's you know, that's pretty much, you know, we're just, you know, just going into the spirit, you know, and how, you know, how we need to go about when we need to, you know, when we need to bring, when we need to bring something to the attention of a fellow Akim, a fellow brother. You know what I'm saying? This needs to be a one-on-one thing. Be a man about it. You know what I'm saying? You know, on both parts. You know, hey, you know, hold yourself accountable if you did mess up. You know, and if you didn't, you didn't. But as long as you guys come to an agreement, you know, and if not, then that's when you bring in the rest of the brotherhood. And if he still wants to be a hard-headed 2/3, then hey, you cast him away from the church. You know what I'm saying? Hey, and cast him away as a heathen. You let the whole church, you know, you mark them that cause division. All right? But you know, that's you know, that's pretty much what I just wanted to go into. You know what I'm saying? It's just, you know, you know, how to go about, you know, when we need to how you call it, talk to our fellow brother, and you know what I'm saying? You know, when we have something that we feel that we need to get off our chest and you know, and talk about it, and that's how the scriptures say to go about it, you know. So again, you know, hey, I want to give all honors and glories to our Father Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rahachadash, you know, and I want to, you know, say a sincere shalom and a double honors to our elders at Great Millstone and the bishops, you know, our elder apostles and the elder bishops, and a sincere shalom to the 144,000 elect men and the 1/3 women and children who are destined for salvation in these last days, and shalom to, you know, barakatat to all the, you know, many blessings to the fellow Akim pushing these words in sincerity and in truth, you know, according to what the scriptures say to do. All right, and again, you know, double honors to our elders at Great Millstone, you know, and with that, I want to say, hey, shalom, shalom, shalom.